Have you ever heard of an invisible ruler used over 5,000 years ago, capable of connecting entire civilizations, even when separated by oceans, mountains, and millennia? A standardized unit of measurement that appears with nearly impossible precision in monuments scattered across thousands of kilometers. No internet, no metal tools, no writing. And yet, more accuracy than many modern constructions. This measurement has a name, Megalithic Yard, exactly 2.72 feet or 0.829 meters. It was discovered by Alexander Thom, a Scottish engineer and professor at Oxford University. He wasn't an archaeologist. He had no ties to fringe theories. He was a man of science, mathematics, and engineering. And yet, what he found during decades of study turned his world, and ours, upside down. Thom spent over 20 years traveling across Europe, meticulously measuring megalithic monuments like Stonehenge, Avebury, Carnac, Carnac, and dozens of others you may have never heard of. More than 600 archaeological sites, and in all of them, the same thing. The distances between stones, the diameters of circles, the positioning angles. Everything suggested the use of a shared unit of measurement. And this wasn't a guess. It repeated with less than a centimeter of variation. In constructions made by people who, according to history books, didn't even know how to measure. The question is unavoidable. How could different Stone Age peoples, separated by centuries and great distances, use the same measurement with such precision? Some of these monuments date back to 3000 BC. Others are even older. Supposedly, these civilizations had no writing, no numbers, no advanced mathematics. And yet, they were working with what seemed to be a prehistoric metric system, more consistent than those used by many societies well into the modern era. And that was just the surface of the mystery. Thom discovered something even more astonishing. Many of these monuments were aligned with specific astronomical events. Stonehenge, for example, wasn't just a circle of stones. It was a sophisticated astronomical observatory. It marked the sunrise on the summer solstice with millimeter precision. But there was more. Some stone circles were aligned with the lunar standstill cycle, an 18.6-year lunar rhythm known as the Saros cycle, a pattern that allows the prediction of lunar and solar eclipses. Just think. A people without writing, without telescopes, without computers, able to predict eclipses based on the alignment of stones. That's something even the Greeks, Egyptians, or Babylonians didn't achieve so early or so accurately. In many cases, these ancient constructions showed levels of precision we only rediscovered thousands of years later. And then comes the next shock. When researchers and mathematicians began to map the locations of these sites, a more disturbing pattern emerged. Many of them were positioned in such a way that they formed perfect isosceles triangles, or alignments that followed very specific angles, 23.5 degrees, 27.5 degrees. These numbers are not random. They correspond to real astronomical phenomena. 23.5 degrees is the tilt of Earth's axis. 27.5 degrees matches the Moon's maximum oscillation. But here's the thing. These alignments aren't visible from the ground. They only appear when you look from above, an aerial view. So how could ancient people, supposedly with no access to flight, balloons, or satellite technology, have planned such precise layouts? The most common hypothesis is that they didn't, that it's all coincidence, that humans are naturally inclined to see patterns, even when they don't exist. But when the same pattern repeats across dozens, hundreds of sites, can we still call that a coincidence? Then we get to another layer of the mystery. Some of the locations where these monuments were built show abnormal levels of electromagnetic activity. Ley lines, hypothetical natural energy lines of the Earth, seem to cross precisely through many of these places. It's as if the builders knew where the planet's energy was strongest. At sites like Avebury, Newgrange, and even lesser-known ones, modern instruments have detected magnetic field variations and subtle energetic pulses. And some claim that being in these places has physical effects on the human body. Subtle changes in brainwave frequencies, a sense of calm, or even visions. Coincidence? Suggestion? Or did the ancients know exactly what they were doing? In addition, many of these stone circles have surprising acoustic properties. When sounds are made in certain points of the circle, they echo in controlled ways, creating harmonic resonance. This has been tested by modern scientists using microphones and sensors. Some of these sites amplify sounds of very specific frequencies, especially between 95 and 120 Hz, which match vibration patterns associated with deep meditation, altered states of consciousness, and even spiritual practices. This raises a bold hypothesis. What if these monuments were more than observatories? What if they were sound instruments? Vibrational tools designed to alter the mental state of those who entered. Not just sacred places or tombs, but real devices of sound and energy manipulation. Of course, all of this goes against what we're taught in school, and that's why many archaeologists reject Alexander Thom's ideas. They say he saw what he wanted to see, that his sacred measurement was nothing more than the average human step, that his data was cherry-picked, and the fact that no ancient tools marked with this measurement have ever been found, no ruler, no scale, is used to discredit the entire theory. But maybe we're looking with the wrong eyes. After all, how many wooden or rope tools survived for more than 4,000 years? And even if no physical ruler remains, the pattern is there, etched into the stones, recorded in the ground, imprinted in the maps, in every structure, in every circle. The biggest irony is that the more we try to explain these constructions based on what we think ancient people knew, the further we drift from what's right in front of our eyes. Maybe the ancients knew much more than we assume. Or maybe they weren't the ones who invented this knowledge. Maybe they inherited it from someone, from a lost civilization long gone, a people who vanished but left behind an invisible trace, a measurement, a frequency, a sound, an alignment with the stars. And maybe the real question isn't how they built it, but why? What were they trying to tell us? And what are we still failing to understand?